Massive DC and Batman rumors abound. This stuff is guaranteed to blow DC fans' minds. So we've got some awesome rumors and new reports about Michael Keaton coming back to be Batman in the DCEU, and this includes, of course, him being Batman in the Flash movie, the Flashpoint reboot, and all of that. So we'll start this video by talking about the reports. We're going to sort of talk about what we think they might mean, and then we'll get into heavy speculation towards the end of the video, just so you know. So first up, a couple of reports coming in from Jeremy Conrad over at DCEU Mythic. Many of you probably know Jeremy Conrad from MCU Cosmic. We cover a lot of Marvel stuff here, but he also runs DCEU Mythic and Star Wars Unity, and he breaks pretty good scoops for both of those fan groups as well. Well, one of those scoops is a report talking about the backup plan if Keaton does not work out as Batman. So Jeremy says here that in case the deal with Keaton falls through, Warner Brothers still wants an elder mentor Batman to emerge from Flashpoint and be the Batman for the DCEU. So I've been told that the Keaton deal is pretty close to being finalized. You know, a lot of that chatter online is like, yeah, no, it's going to happen. But in case it does not happen, DC has a backup plan. So right here in the article, it says, despite what some corners of the fandom might try to convince you of, that backup plan isn't Affleck. The guy is clearly past comic book roles. He's lost a lot of weight and looks like he's in his 30s again. And he's obviously enjoying his new life with Ana de Armas for now. Instead, there is another Batman Warner Brothers would attempt to convince to return to the role. I've learned that if the Keaton talk falls through and he doesn't come back, Warner Brothers will attempt to get Christian Bale to return. Again, as an older Batman from a different universe, who will take on the mentor role in the DCEU following Flashpoint's soft reboot. Okay, so that's pretty cool, and you can really tell by just the language that Jeremy is using that it's pretty well established that Flashpoint will be the Flash movie, it will do a soft reboot, and Warner Brothers certainly has plans for an older mentor type Batman to be the Batman of the DCEU moving forward, and they want to have him mentor members of the Justice League and potential members for the Batman family. We will get there in just a minute, and of course I'm going to speculate about that in a bit. Now, the other big report, and I say report because it's coming from someone that has actual sources, we think it's pretty solid stuff, but again, coming from Jeremy Conrad, is that Michael Keaton's Batman suit in The Flash will be inspired by Kingdom Come. And he says here in his article, according to a reliable source, Keaton's bat suit in The Flash will be heavily inspired by Batman's look in the seminal Kingdom Come miniseries. I don't know if we'll also see Bruce Wayne's exoskeleton like we did when Kevin Conroy appeared in Crisis on Infinite Earths, but when we see him suited up as Batman, the suit will be similar to the armored one we saw in Alex Ross's Kingdom Come art. Okay, so let's talk about these reports. First of all, Kingdom Come Batman suit? Yes, please. That suit is awesome, and we actually talked about this over on our live streaming channel this morning on the morning stream, which, by the way, you should totally be coming by the morning streams, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day, Monday through Friday on our live streaming channel. But we were talking about the possibility of the Batman Beyond suit, maybe even the Hellbat armor, or other suits of Batmans from the comics being combined to create this new bat suit for the Michael Keaton Batman in The Flash. And here's the hoping that suit also comes back with him when he returns to our regular DCEU timeline. That would be incredible. And as far as the report about Christian Bale, I mean, I know a lot of people would be very excited about that, and my first gut reaction was like, there's no way he would sign up to do that. There's no way Bale would do that, but he is doing a major movie over in the MCU, and it's possible he's just at a different stage in his career. He's willing to have more fun with these comic book movies, so maybe he would come back as an older Batman and be a mentor to whoever they want to have be the next Batman and different members of the Justice League. But on the subject of Batfleck, I'm actually not as sure as Jeremy is that Affleck is not interested and that the studio is not interested in having him. I actually have not seen anything recent that makes me believe wholeheartedly that Ben Affleck definitely does not want to be Batman again. And I tend to believe that he could come back for additional photography for the Snyder Cut. It might, get him in the mood again to be Batman again. I think the fans would be behind it. I technically think it might be better for the DCEU canon, so I think it could play. And of course, let us know what you think. What other Batman could come in and replace Ben Affleck? Who could be the Michael Keaton Batman if they can't get Michael Keaton? Do you think it could be Kevin Conroy? Do you think it could be Val Kilmer or George Clooney or anybody else? Just let me know who you think it could be in the comment section below. And now let's talk about Batman Beyond. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen any of the trades or any reliable scoopers out there or insiders that we know of confirming the report that we talked about last week from the Sean Chandler podcast. This was a podcast in which one of the members there, a guy named Griffin, had been told by very reliable sources in Hollywood that the plan is to do a Batman Beyond movie in 2023. Now, although we haven't heard anybody sort of corroborate that scoop, the same thing keeps coming up. We keep hearing the same thing about this Nick Fury thing and the mentor Batman, and Batgirl's name keeps being brought up. Batgirl is a high priority for Warner Brothers. They want Batgirl to exist in the DCEU, to have a film in the DCEU, and the mentor Batman seems to be a really nice way to transition into that character. But that begs the question, is Batgirl going to replace Terry McGinnis as the Batman Beyond? Or are we still going to get Terry in a Batman Beyond movie and just also have Batgirl? I'm not 100% sure. Both are possible. In my opinion, I think they should do the whole Bat family and really bring in a ton of people. Even like an older Dick Grayson, who's past fighting crime, could be really interesting as well. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But as far as the reports, there's nothing to indicate for sure that Batman Beyond is happening. But a lot of what we are hearing tracks with the Batman Beyond scoop. And then the last official thing I want to talk about just before we get into speculation town, because oh baby, do I have some sweet speculation for you. But this is all about DC fandom. So we've been talking about DC fandom a good bit here and on the live streaming channel, and we're really hoping that DC fandom makes a big splash and answers a lot of our questions. However, as I was thinking about this, I think it's important to mention that the Keaton stuff, the Batman Beyond stuff, the Batgirl stuff, and potentially even what's going on with Henry Cavill Superman is still being worked on and negotiated. So it's possible a lot of that stuff doesn't actually get fully announced. What I think is more likely, beyond them just hyping up the Batman, Wonder Woman, next Aquaman and things like that, Black Adam, etc., etc., it would be really cool if DC came out and said they actually do have a figured out continuity now. And they're going to make sure we know that Matt Reeves' The Batman film is existing separate from the DCEU, but that the DCEU has some really big, cool things on the horizon, and that the Flash movie is an important part of that, and it's going to set a new status quo. That's literally all they need to do. Maybe reveal the title of the Flash movie to be Flashpoint, and everyone would just freak out. But I just wanted to mention that because even though we're talking a lot about these rumors and these reports, I don't want us as a community to be too anticipating of DC fandom and then be burnt and be upset if we don't get the Michael Keaton announcement. Having said that, I'm absolutely certain they would love to officially sign Keaton and announce that at DC fandom. I think it would be hype as hell, but I don't know that that's actually going to happen. So just wanted to talk about that. But now we can get into the sweet, sweet speculation. Take my hand. Let's go to speculation town. The thing I want to speculate about the most, the thing that I'm most interested in, is the Henry Cavill Superman, and a couple of different reasons why. Number one, we just recently heard reports that Warner Brothers is not sure a solo Superman movie or a Man of Steel 2 would actually be a profitable movie. So that is a big reason why we might not get Henry Cavill in a solo Superman movie anytime soon. However, there were a lot of reports weeks ago talking about how Cavill is back as Superman and he will show up in different DCEU movies moving forward, shooting little cameos. And what's really interesting about that is when the news first broke that Cavill was not going to be Superman anymore and he did not do the cameo in Shazam, the reports at that time were that Warner Brothers wanted to do the same thing they're apparently doing with the Michael Keaton Batman to Henry Cavill Superman. They wanted to treat him like the Nick Fury of the DCEU. This is really interesting to me. Are they abandoning Cavill as the DCEU Nick Fury and instead going with Michael Keaton? Is it possible that both characters will cameo in movies and set up the Justice League together? which would be amazing. Please do that, DC. That would be awesome. And then to add on top of all of that, there's rumors that J.J. Abrams does not want Henry Cavill to be Superman in whatever Superman movie he might be developing. That would be really weird. Can that work in the canon? If DC figures out a way to make sure I know it's technically in a different universe than the DCEU movies, then maybe it does play. Maybe that doesn't work at all, and the studio will force J.J. Abrams to use Henry Cavill. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know, but I found it so interesting that as all of the discussion has become, older mentor Batman being Nick Fury of the DCEU, I'm just wondering, what does that mean for Cavill? Was that not exactly what they wanted to do with Henry Cavill Superman? I open up the question to you guys. What do you think they should do, and what do you think they will do with Henry Cavill Superman, Michael Keaton's Batman, and the whole crazy situation with the DCEU? And now let's shout out comic book nostalgia. Yes, indeed, Fin Fang Foom first appeared way back in 1961's Strange Tales number 89. So shout out to you, comic book nostalgia, and now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know what DC character leads the Justice Battalion in the Kingdom Come miniseries from DC Comics. Answer that question in the comment section below. Folks, I just want to say thank you for watching, and also wanted to let you know we are ending our Patreon, and instead we are focusing on channel memberships over on our live streaming channel as the main way to support this content. If you like the content over here, you're enjoying the live streams over there, go check out the memberships today. It certainly helps us out. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.